Hello, I'm Mark Abardi and this is Mark's Minutes on ghosts. Fantastic, ghosts are brilliant. I have seen a ghost. I was young and I was with my brother and I'm not sure whether it was a ghost or not, who knows. This is a lot of those experiences. But I have felt essences. Now, my take on ghosts is this. There is surplus energy floating around. Let's take one step back. Before we go into this surplus energy floating around, we interpret the world the best way we can. If there is something, a noise happening, say there's a bang, and you look round and you see that something is on the floor, you say, oh, that bang happened because that thing's on the floor. You deduce it. You use your powers of deduction, Watson, and you deduce it. So fine, you make a deduction. In the same way, you make a deduction about everything in life. So if there's a surplus of energy floating around and you detect it in some way, you have some sense of it, and we'll talk about more of this in clairvoyance and clairsentience, Mark's Minutes clairvoyance. If you detect that in some way, then that means your brain has to interpret it in some way. Now, if it's just energy, how's your brain going to get that? It's just energy. No, your brain will have to form an image in your mind and almost project it out. So you detect the energy, whether it's with your eyes or your ears or your fingers or even your other senses, your magnetic fields, your electrical fields. See Mark's Minutes on magnetism. You'll detect those things and you'll have to interpret them. What are they? What is it? And in order to interpret it, you're going to look for the best understanding of what it could be. So this random bits of energy, what could it be? Oh, it's a ghost. So then you start to project out and form an image, and you start to make that image something real. Now those ghosts that you see, they don't have conscious independence. They have consciousness only given by you. You give them life. It's almost like if any of you have seen iRobot, where Will Smith is talking to the hologram. The hologram appears to be alive and he's talking to it, asking questions, and it responds. And if it doesn't ask a question, it's not being programmed. It'll say, I'm sorry, this hologram's only programmed to respond to questions that it knows. The point here is that although they seem real, and although you can actually interact with them, you can ask them things, it's actually you who's powering them. You're giving them form to be powered by. Okay? The other thing with ghosts is that their energy, their memory is stored inside the 0-point field, inside the quantum vacuum. See Mark's Minutes on past lives, I speak about this. The point is everything you think, feel and do is stored inside this matrix field. And so too ghosts who were once beings store their energy inside the field, and they can be stored inside objects and locations, buildings, different things can act as trigger points to anchor different manifestations. So as you're going to a place, say a haunted house, and let's take the question of how do people see the same ghost? Okay, it's a fair question. If we're manifesting it, we're all individuals. How do we manifest the same ghost? Well, that ghost will have form because of memories that are attached to different anchors in the buildings, in the environment, even in your concepts in your head. And so you're more likely, if you can sense those things, to manifest them in that same form and see that same thing. Now, to clarify, it's not that ghosts aren't there. They are. It's just they're not sentient beings. They have their consciousness and sentience only through us. Only through us, we give them an activation. We almost, let's see how to describe this. It's almost like they are memories. No, let me put it this way. They are films without a projector. So they're films that aren't being played because they haven't got a projector. Now you've got a projector. You're you. Mark's a projector. He's Mark, the Mark projector. Now as I come along and if I'm sensitive enough, and I detect another movie, I might say, hey, I'll play that movie for a bit through my projector. Maybe you can share my projector space with me. And suddenly you give their film a screening that it didn't have before. So that's ghosts. Nothing to be scared of. Yes, they can tell us information. We can ask them questions. Ultimately, we're asking the memory form of them, the thing that was stored in the matrix, and ourselves. We're using ourselves to look into the matrix. We can't directly look so consciously into the matrix so often because it's so complex, we can't get it. So, until next time, thanks for listening.